Well, hello. How you doing, Brett?
My old friend. Hey, you know what? Guess something. You know what? I'm gonna tell you. We have not done a Delphi show in about 5 or 6 months. I think it was before Richard Allen was arrested the last time we did a show.
Actually, it was. We had a few things there, and we've talked, on, our infamous back channel about some of that. And, hey, I will just put this out there as a person, that has kids. I like seeing that poor man look like he's starving to death. If he did those things, which I'm sorry, the evidence perfectly, for what I know, says he did. But now that's why I will not be a jury member, And it's not funny, but you understand what I'm trying to say is I think he's getting what he deserves. But I would like to hear an update. I mean, what have you seen recently?
If you did see that, and that was kind of the most recent thing, and it was tied to something that he actually won. I think he's going to be moved from a state facility back to a county facility, although not the Delphi facility. So I think he is getting the transfer because he put on a PD4. And hey, man, you know what? I have to give him the latitude to say that in the United States of America, if we're doing what our legal system is supposed to do, then we're saying that he's innocent until proven guilty. Although we can support him in that respect until the day he's convicted, and rightly so. But in the meantime, law enforcement has, and this is something I want to talk with you about. Law enforcement has made this arrest. Their lawyers are struggling back and forth. It's a pissing contest. It's trying to figure out who's got what and what's going to have to happen. They're just it's a card game, and everybody's trying to figure out what's going to happen. Who has the best hand, and it's looking like you got some really good defense lawyers. These guys are all over protecting this guy of his rights. Of course, we wouldn't want him any other way. I mean, we wouldn't want the wrong guy arrested and charged and locked away from ever. This guy, we all know, been married 30 years, 25 years of time of murders. Let's say it's not him. Maybe he was just going across the bridge. Maybe he got tied up in some other shit. We don't know. There may be some kind of a dealing, plea deal is coming. Who knows? Because
right.
The one little hole. This is where I'm going with this. One little hole that's left open. And basically what it is that at the last time the prosecuting attorney, Nick McClellan, spoke, what he said is that this is back whenever they're going over the PCA. So they didn't want to release it. And then at the end,
right.
He said, listen, he said that we believe that Richard Allen is not the only actor involved. Now, what does that mean to you?
Well, what that would tell to me is, they're trying to imply that there's somebody else involved, that they can't put all the blame on this one person. And you're right. I mean, I was agreeing with you, not trying to interrupt, where, in the United States, you have the presumption of innocence. I mean, the evidence, which we as the folks that, talk about this, we only get bits, parts, and pieces. Only the actual authorities know the whole story. And we have to trust that process works. And sadly, I mean, like with him there, let's just make the assumption that they made the arrest. After 5 years, they built a case. They arrested someone that does fit it, but maybe accidentally innocent. But, I've seen people been locked up for 30 years of crimes they didn't do. They didn't get anything. It's part of that process. Now, with this case here, it's so in the media. There's been so many people. It's like that Debbie girl from Florida. Why did this case catch the attention of the YouTubers, the crime people? Because they wanted some kind of justice. The man deserves some justice, but at the same time, he so fits what goes. And that's why I was saying, it's like, maybe I'm wrong for, my idea of that's the man. Because he does absolutely fit it. He deserves his day in court, but the lawyers, if the evidence is there, quit arguing against it. if you want to say there's somebody else involved, well, what evidence do you have to say there was more than one party involved? When they don't produce that, now this is going to be a callback to some of the election stuff. You can claim it's there, but if you can't produce the evidence, then close your pie hole. If you won't produce it, shut it. Well, they say that, but they will not actually produce the evidence. It's like, that's just our thing, because they're trying to, sow those seeds of reasonable doubt, which is what the justice system is based on, reasonable doubt.
Well, I have a reasonable doubt right now that there's DNA, because you would think we would know about it by now. Maybe not, because they're still letting the defense make these posturing moves. And, that worries me about the case, because if they had maybe the defense is just putting on a show. I don't know. Maybe they're all putting on a show. They may have it orchestrated from behind, okay? Probably very possible, these people talk every day on telephone, probably. At least their people are. And they go out. I've had lunch. I had a court case one time with me for a DUI, and I had lunch with the judge and my lawyer the day of the court. And, it cost me money, but, everybody knows what's going to happen. They tell you what's going to happen. So that day right there is like, look, you had Mothers Against Drunk Driving is here. There's absolutely nothing to this.
Posing and posturing. Posing and posturing. It's all the lawyers are out to be sure you get off with a minimal amount of consequences, even if you are guilty as hell. Okay, maybe you deserve that, but that's their job. Go ahead. Sorry.
And this is part of you're right though. See, this is the show part of the trial. Every one of them get their name in the lights in action. But I'm concerned.
O.J. Simpson all over again. Yes.
I'm concerned that Nick McClellan has his head in the sand too much, because I'd want to know if we have DNA. I mean, I'd want him to go out there. Now, I'm ready for court. But now, by God, if his lawyers knew that there was DNA involved, then, that would make it so. It would be.
Well, tell me about the DNA. I mean,
we don't know. We don't know.
Well,
there's nothing.
I don't even know the. I don't know the name of the. I don't know the name of the man you're speaking of. That's the prosecuting attorney for there. Yeah. So what is the background of him? I mean, why would he not try to solve this rather than do the reasonable doubt thing? Can you give me any more information about him?
Well, I mean, I don't know what that question was, but I know this is that he's a local guy. He's got children. So, yeah, he wants it solved. I don't doubt that. But is it for political, or does he truly want I guess that's what I was trying to get to. No.
The local.
He would have to, in a little small town, they would have to dunk on that shit if they had it. He's not dunking on it, is what I'm trying to say.
That's what scares me. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe that's smart, because he wants Richard Allen to give up who that other person is. See, so because there may not be but one set of DNA there, or there may be no DNA. There may just be his fucking gun. That's very scary if you think about it. All the court cases based upon that bullet, that one cartridge, not good.
Well, and see, that's kind of where I was trying to drive that is, all right, so the prosecuting attorney, in the county has lateral ability to, move it to different, courts and cases and stuff. And, of course, they want to convict the man. The lawyer wants to exonerate the man. And so, you have these little backdoor meetings. That's how you come up with, what do you call that? Damn, my brain farted. You come up with a deal that you're all satisfied with. Damn, I lost it again. You negotiate. So, so the type of things you're actually talking about, yes, it does happen. The folks that have never actually had to deal with some of this little legality stuff, you don't really get that. It's scary. It's terrifying. But that is their job. The thing that I guess I want to know is, so the prosecuting attorney, we've read the news briefs and they've hinted that they have DNA. The defendant's attorney are hinting that there was someone else involved. So, we're kind of talking out our butts totally in a lot of ways, but the man fits so well. I'm sorry if it seems that way, and I hope he didn't do it, but if he did it, he deserves everything he's suffering through.
Let's jump off there for a moment, because he looks just like him. You and I agree with it. I think that 90% of the people. Okay, so why doesn't his wife know who it was? You've been married at that time 25, 26 years, now 30, 31 years. You know damn well she know who the fuck that was walking across that bridge. Come on.
Look at the poor women that get beat to death. They call the cops, almost to death. They call the cops show up, and then they attack the cops for trying to get their man. It truly that kind of mentality. I mean, the Stockholm Syndrome, you pick it. If his wife didn't know, either she was an accomplice, which could be the second party they're referring to, but it could also be just a woman that has been beat down and is emotionally stuck. But that's the beauty of our justice system. You have the right to think those things. It's just the preponderance of the evidence that proves it. They all dance. They all, oh, this is this. And hey, look over here. I got Sparkle's jazz hands. Why can't justice be very simple? I do wish it could be, but it's not. But it's ugly and it's long term.
Just real quick, though. Okay. There's one theory is that she could be getting beat. But, other videos of her show her fucking with him, trying to put him on camera and him trying to stay off of it. You can't find a fucking video of him. There's one video with his voice on it that we found. Everybody found before, she took them all down, his wife. But, this guy is a ghost on the internet, man. I'm talking about a ghost. I'm talking about a guy our age that says he was walking down the sidewalk or the trail that day playing with his stock ticker. He is a ghost on the internet. And you can't find mention of this guy anywhere. So that tells me either he was using other names or he was just deep, dark wells.
Or maybe the defense is actually right. There was another party involved. There can be. Okay, so now let's just throw this out there, because now this is like way out there. Okay, so now I'm just going to say this only because we're talking about conspiracies. So what if his wife was the strong person in the relationship? She enjoyed watching him cuckold young girls. Maybe she was the altered thing. Now, there's no proof. There's nothing. I'm just throwing that out there because if the defense is trying to say there may be someone else involved, and you are arguing that there's no way he couldn't know, then maybe she was involved. Maybe she liked that. Maybe she was the pioneer partner, and he was the one just doing what he was told. And that's a very iffy thing, but it is an idea.
Okay, so that's I don't know that I've heard that particular theory, but I don't, just from seeing the way she spoke to him, let's just leave that out there, but no, there are other things too, with her and not recognizing it, of course,
and again, I'm kind of coming from this fresh because you are the expert. I'm just throwing in the new. It's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. I know and I'm not no fucking expert. We're just two guys yakking about it. But maybe he didn't. Okay. Let me just say this. I had to think about it for a second. But theoretically, her brother died in September of 2016. This is what I've heard. And he was the caretaker of their mother. So she went and stayed with him and may have been there at Mom's at about all the time this stuff went down. So he didn't have anybody to report to. He was all alone, probably day drinking, staying fucked up all the time, you could imagine. Got down there, So, but now see, that's what I would automatically go to. But they're saying other actors involved. Of course, I mean, let's just see how realistic it would be, for her to be dominating him. It could be that they call him Kagan, the Kagan Klein, the other guy, the catfishing guy. That his stuff is going down right now, and we don't know how it's going to turn out. And really, he can't be involved in that case until he's done this Delphi case until he's done with that one. So maybe he's involved, maybe he's not. Maybe it's the Kagan and Richard Allen angle. Who knows? But it's really weird though, because this is what I think.
Let me ask this just real fast, because I don't know. Is Kagan and Richard Allen related?
We don't know. There's no.
Okay, so they're not. There's no actually direct family relation. Okay, so that was just for my information.
No, there's nothing.
Go ahead.
Richard Allen is a complete ghost. Kagan is the guy. Is just the guy that's being busted for child salmon. Was the last person who theoretically spoke with, or the account spoke with these girls, or one of the last. Didn't say the last.
Yeah, I got you.
So I mean, he could be connected to him. Because this guy's moved around. It's an area you can think of it. In fact, they have a Monticello and a Camden and a Logansport and Delphi and several other little small towns there. And these people move back and forth between each one of them, just like we all do around here. I may live here for a while, move there for a while, I got a project going on, whatever. So, I mean, everybody just kind of moves around. So, and a lot of people come across each other, specifically slimy bastards, people that get, birds of a feather flock together is what they always say. So maybe he's associated with Kagan in some way or the other. Maybe he's not. Nobody fucking knows. They won't say anything else. They got it locked down, which is smart. It's just very irritating that we don't have that kind of information available. But it goes back to me for the DNA. If there's not DNA, I'm worried, But maybe they just can't do it yet because they need Richard to flip. That's what I'm guessing. And maybe y'all have. Who knows?
And it could be. All right. So now that I know that they're actually related, I mean, because now I was going back to psychosis in the family line. If they were related, okay, so we've had discussion about, toxicity in young men. You get young men that are 25 years old and they look like they're 14. They have no hair. They have nothing. And it's like, what this don't make any sense, because when we were growing up, we had guys playing on the basketball team that looked like men. I mean, they were hairy, they were massive and stuff, and we were in the middle. Now, you at 5th grade had chest hair. Okay, well, congratulations. But I think when you told me the wife was very controlling and he has a zero thing there, see, that kind of lends to the thing of maybe she was involved only as the alternate party. Now, whether she was a controlling party and a party that just wanted the excitement, because I've had the experience of a wife wanting to add a third person, now I'm just throwing it out there, and I'm sorry, it never happened. Yeah, damn it. But it still blew my mind. Now imagine someone like him up there in that oil town, this and that, runs into a wife that, she's controlling, and he just, he wants to make her happy, and she wants to see him do something, and it goes completely wrong. I don't know if that's what it is, but damn, if they're arguing there was another party, and if the only party was his wife, and as you said, his wife should have recognized him, and if she did not speak up, then my opinion.
Well, I mean, you would have think that once his ass got in jail, she would have spoke up if she wasn't involved, What do you think?
Oh, no, because now it's all going to be him. Once he had been caught, and no, she ain't going to speak up. She's going to be, I had no clue. What the hell? You're going to play the I don't know card.
But I'm talking about, maybe she figured out that maybe she found some additional evidence and she wanted to get rid of it. Let's just say she was the battered wife. Why did she come forward afterwards? You know.
Well,
that's what I always say to the battered
if
wife.
she was the battered wife, then it's not necessarily her fault, though I will fault her for that. That goes back to, if you're the battered wife and you're hiding evidence, once you know he's locked up, be a human. I mean, step up and, speak out. But I also know your mind is a very powerful jail cell. When you get your brain trapped into defending someone that you think is your mate, you do stupid stuff. That's why I understand, but I don't understand the battered wife syndrome. My husband hit me. Don't you take him away from me. You just called us because he hit you. It's a mind thing. Psychology is not always great. And you're a psychologist, Brad.
I mean, it's powerful. I mean, whenever you have that kind of sway over someone, it's definitely powerful. And then, of course, we don't know. One of the things that I've always said with this is that maybe the catfisher got catfished. In other words, he may have been out there trolling, trying to find him some local young girl. I always
Absolutely.
But now, everybody's always saying the Liberty angle. I think it's from the Abby angle.
You're going to have to explain the Liberty angle because, see, I don't know those things. I mean,
there's nothing, every single thing with Delphi case is the Liberty angle. It's like Liberty was the one online. Liberty's the one doing this and doing that and doing the other. Well, Abby was, a young, pretty girl.
Okay,
there were people.
So if everything was about Liberty and everybody knows it, well, tell me about the Abby angle. I mean, dude, I really don't know. Yeah, go ahead, please. I'm sorry.
Well, that's the Abby angle, is that, she was a young, pretty girl. And her mother even told stories about how there was some dude in the parking lot looking at him one day. And she tried to use it as a teachable moment for her daughter in some way or the other. And he's like, yeah, Mom, I know not to talk to her son, whatever it was. But then again, I've had children that age. I've got children that age now. They're very susceptible to peer pressure, to conforming, fitting in. They all want attention. Everybody wants attention. Everybody wants, for me to be important in some way or the other. I want to fit in. I don't want to be too fit in too much. I don't want to fit out too much. I want to be, I want to have my hook there and, have that one thing I can refer to that's me right now and check. You know what I'm saying? So
the one thing that makes my participation perfect, worth it.
Yeah. Well, so they want to be they want to be special. They want somebody to love them. They want to know. Everybody wants to know that, you walk by and go, oh, Donald, it's so beautiful. We all want that in some way or the other. We all want to be appreciated by other people in some way or the other. Specifically, at that age is our physical prowess, But now, of course, now I want them to think other things about me, But now I still don't mind somebody thinking, he's a sexy son of a bitch. You got to say that. Say that with a feminine voice, though.
Go ahead.
No,
oh yeah.
Whoa! A technical female can say that about it.
I understand. Go ahead. Please continue.
Go ahead and enjoy it. I like this.
No. You just continue with your soapbox thing. Brad, you're not a bad looking man, but no, I ain't. Yeah. Please continue, Brad.
Anyway, we always talk about the Liberty angle, which is everything is, and I'm not saying it's about blame. It's that she got caught, because that's what it is that she, if she's the one who did it, then she got manipulated, But it doesn't have to be like that with me. I don't think you have to have it like that. Some people are stalkers,
Well, and let me just say this because, I think, there's going to be some of this, feedback from, it's neither one of theirs fault. They were young children being children. They was using their phone. They was getting to do things that us, as I'm going to say Gen X folks, wasn't used to. They exposed themselves to a danger. And it got them. And it's so horrible because they should have been protected. It don't matter who did it, what did it, why they did it. These two young little women lost their lives. I mean, we currently have a guy in custody. I hope he's guilty. A bad guy, and I hope he's guilty because he does fit it. But I have to, maybe there's something else going on, but I'm just glad we seem to have a tiny resolution here, because it does fit. But, trying to say they're guilty before they're actually convicted, and the way the justice system just drags out, it's all that argument. If you did it wrong and if you have the proof, then submit it. Show it to us. Let's do that. But there's violation of rights. There's all these things that maybe, just maybe, the prosecution has obtained in a weird way that they actually can't use it because they don't have the right to produce it or something. I don't know. It's so crazy.
I've got another way of explaining it. Me and you are on the same page, sounds like. Because like with me, those lawyers are a lot like a good cook. Everybody around there wants to speed things up. Oh, come on, let's hurry up. Come on, let's eat right now. Let's get it off the stove and let's get it off the grill right now. We gotta eat. It's 2:00. We gotta eat. And like a good lawyer and a good chef, they'll say, "Hey, look, we can't do that right now. I'm doing this right here. Look here, I'm doing this. I'm busy turning it right now."
Oh yes. Give me another couple minutes, and it's gonna be the perfect meal. Wow.
Yeah. You got to let it sit there and bake a long time. You got to let everything come out to the top. When you cook stuff, sometimes stuff, like when you distilling, like you got some ruined corn, fermented corn, and you put it through the distiller at the very top, all the good shit comes out. Like there's your alcohol right there.
That's right. And the rest is pig food.
That's right. But it takes time. It's got to get to the right temperature. You got to have everything lined up right. You can't have any leaks in the shit. You got to have it tight. And whenever that thing starts flowing, it makes the most beautiful thing. And with that, I'm going to end off for the night, my friend.
No, man, I can tell. All right, brother. All right. Well, I appreciate the cast. I mean, it's been a great one.
Yeah.
Call me back if you can, because I still need to talk to you about your other thing.
Your other thing. All right, I'll call you right now. All right, bye.
All right, bye.